I didn't exactly expect to find prevention and control of distortion in arc welding to be very riveting, but I decided to watch it because I watch everything Disney and I'm making my way through a lot of their old educational shorts. And honestly, I found this to be really fascinating. I'm not going to pretend I understood absolutely everything, but I was able to follow a lot more of this than I expected. I think things are explained very clearly, and we have a bit of comedy with this interesting character that does some lifting at one point, and it's really easy to follow this along and become engaged by it and actually absorb the information. I honestly thought I'd watch this, it's Disney, I'll give it a go, but it's arc welding. How much am I going to enjoy this? Significantly more than I expected. This was released in 1945. I'm not sure who directed this or narrated it because the information isn't on IMDb. But if anybody has any information for that, please do let me know. It was produced for Lincoln Electric, and obviously it is to educate workers on how to prevent and control distortion while arc welding. And basically, if you let something heat or cool without control, the object might become distorted. I kind of understood the basic concept before watching it, and when I started watching it, I actually gained a lot of information that I could understand. Again, there were things in this that I didn't fully grasp because I have no knowledge or experience with arc welding or anything in this kind of industry, but things were explained so clearly that I was able to follow along pretty much most of it, and we had some really great explanations, and we have a really good mix of live action footage of welders welding things and some animation as well. And sometimes the animation is to highlight certain things. Sometimes we have this little outline of a welder, this like white outline of this welder, and he's lifting up this bit of metal, and he was a fun character. He appears at several points throughout, and it's really fascinating. They do describe arc welding as, and I quote, the truly modern method of fabrication. And from this, I get the understanding that arc welding was relatively new in manufacturing at this time. If anybody can corroborate or even tell me that that's not true, please feel free to do so. But I feel like it's something that people were starting to explore as something more prominent in the industry. So training videos like this would be really helpful. And as I said, really engaging as well. I found it very easy to pay full attention. I don't think my attention wandered once. And that's very unusual, unexpected, because I generally have no interest in anything to do with this. In fact, welding would terrify me. Anything that uses heat, I just absolutely hate. I was terrified of using soldering irons at school, so I'm not going to be doing welding anytime soon. But nevertheless, I found it to be pretty fascinating and very well animated, very well told. The narration is great, and it's really fascinating. So if you are a Disney fan, but you've been looking at this thinking, well, I don't care, I'm not interested in arc welding, I'd say still give it a go. It's only about 20 minutes. It's not tremendously long, but it's really fascinating and very well done, and I enjoyed it significantly more than I thought. Sure, that's not to say it's my favourite Disney educational short ever, but I think they did a great job with prevention and control of distortion in arc welding. Everything is very clearly explained. Everything is very well animated or illustrated with some live action clips, and I don't know how much of this is true to practices today. Maybe a lot of the things that are taught in this are different now that we're almost 80 years into the future, which is incredible to think about. But either way, it's entertaining, it's informative, it's educational, it's very well edited. I rather enjoyed it, and if it sounds like it would appeal to you, or if you're a Disney fan and you've been putting it off, I'd say give it a watch. Prevention and control of distortion in arc welding is pretty good.